Hello. There we go. We all good, Carson? All right. All right. Thank you for all being here. Thank you for being chatty. I love it and appreciate it. I officially call to order the City of Traverse Council Committee meeting for Monday, August the 11th. If council is okay with it, I would love for our city administrator to give us her brief report at the beginning so she can have some fun news to tell with us.
Thank you, Mayor Amadon. I appreciate the adjustment to the schedule. I wanted to introduce to you Erica Leslie. If Erica, would you mind standing up? Erica is our new administrative assistant. She is sitting in the reception window. She's been working with Beth and Renee and Carson for a couple months now. It was part-time, and then we've extended the position to full-time. She has a bachelor's degree. She is very adept in the writing and communication skills. She's already handled a couple very tricky phone calls very well, so we are so ecstatic to have her on our team. We need her help greatly. You see a lot of her work in the dog foster program paperwork that's in front of you tonight. She really put that together on behalf of myself and Rob Lewis and Chief. So Erica, welcome to the team.
Thank you
wanted to
so
introduce
much.
myself.
Yeah, we're so glad you're here. Thank you. We'll try not to make you work too hard, Erica, but we can't make any promises. So, but thank you so much. We appreciate it. All right. Anything else, Shannon, or is it okay to jump in? Okay, great. All right, we will move into our Public Works Committee. We have Chair Lane.
I call to order the Public Works Committee. Present are myself, Lisa Lane, Catherine James, and Sherry Mara. Do I have a motion to approve the July 10th Public Works minutes?
Motion to approve. Second.
Director Tate, you're on.
Good evening. Nothing more to add. I do have one update, I'm sorry, on the sign material for the signage. Where the material's back order for about 6 weeks, so hopefully mid to late September we'll have that where we can get started on some of the street markers around town. We have been installing, the guys have been installing, worked very hard on a project in the Public Works building, and I want to thank Shannon for the opportunity for that. But they are installing an air conditioner down there in the bay, so that's a big project, and they've worked very diligently to get that installed. And all the departments have contributed to that effort. So that's all I have.
Well, that was easy. Do we have any questions from the committee? When's that project? Always going to ask.
Poinsett project's moving along pretty good. We have had, well, this week, obviously, and last week, a little weather setback. Shannon and I met with Clay Baldwin last week, the project coordinator on that, to kind of get an update, get up to speed where they are. But they're moving along. In a couple of weeks, they'll be out to the intersection out there, and we'll be posting a little more information about that, how that process is going to go.
Anybody on the council have any questions for Director Tate?
Philip, I feel like this is one of these things you're going to hate me for bringing up, but the roundabout and the like pegs that show where everybody to go, is it possible to get them repainted? They're looking a little dingy, and then even in the median area, DOT hasn't like cut the grass or weeded or anything right there, but I'm not sure how hard it is to spray paint those suckers, but it would be nice to kind of make sure Kelly's roundabout is is beautified as it has it been there like 4 years at this
At
point?
least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks
maybe
for not
just like
calling
some-
it the Kelly Byers Memorial Roundabout like my spouse does. I'm like,
sounds
why do you? I
horrible.
know.
But yeah, just maybe some beautification. I had noticed it looked a little dingy.
I'll reach out to them.
Thank you.
Any other questions? How are people parking down by the historical museum?
As far as I know, the guys installed a sign out there last week for public parking on the backside of Loftus Printing. We do have a no right turn sign that will be installed soon. So when you come out of the parking lot, you'll be able to see the sign that you can't turn right and go the wrong way on the one-way.
I saw somebody come the wrong way down there, and I didn't even think about it. Probably was coming from the parking lot. I didn't even think about that. Okay, that's good.
Did we talk about one time making it to where when you come out, what is that, Old Buncombe?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
that you would only take a right, so you wouldn't go to the left and hit the
Yep.
crosswalk. I think we talked about that at one time, maybe just something, it feels like
We-
forever ago, but
We did talk about that, I think, very early on, maybe
Yeah.
with Eric. And I think there were some sizing for the right-of-way down through there to turn it back to where it would be two-way traffic there. So then it was decided just to leave it a one-way and put the signage up.
Okay.
And not reverse the one-way?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
I meant when you, I'm sorry, it might be, like, once you pass the trail, just going right on the
Oh.
main street is what I was talking about. So like, once you come out of the parking lot, we had talked
Yes,
about
you could-
just going right, so you didn't go left and hit the crosswalk, because then you have to
No
go.
turn left on Main Street then, correct? From Old Buncombe
Yeah,
onto
from,
Main.
because like, right now, if you take a left, you have to go in the crosswalk, and so that was, I think Rick Floyd actually mentioned it, like, what if we just made it to
A
where you got right
right-hand-
on Main
Right
Street?
turn
Yeah.
only there.
Just trying to limit people from turning,
Can look at that.
into the crosswalk.
Yep, we could
Yeah.
possibly coordinate that with DOT.
Any other questions from the council? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. We have our Public Safety Committee, Chair Byers.
I call to order the Public Safety Committee meeting for August 11th. Present are myself, Sherry Mara, Wayne McCall, and Shanice Chris. Do we have a motion to approve the July 10th Public Safety minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second. Great, thank you. Okay, I was gonna save you for last, since you have to come back many times, but you're already here, so go for it.
Maybe I assumed too quick.
You're good.
Good
Do you have
evening.
anything you want to highlight on the police report for us?
Oh, let's see, nothing on the report to highlight. I would like to mention that our most, well, not our most recent, but we have a recent graduate from the police academy. Morgan Smith graduated Friday.
Mhm.
Did really well. Today was her first day working in patrol as far as her field training. So she'll go through 12 weeks of field training. That's routine. And then she'll be on her own there. She's doing really well.
Good.
So just wanted to mention that. Nothing else. Any questions? I can answer any questions anybody has.
Does anyone on the committee have questions about the police report? Anyone on council? Looks pretty standard this month. Okay, we'll see you back in a few minutes.
Thank you so much.
Okay, chief.
Good evening.
Hello.
I really don't have anything other than what's on the report. I will note, if you look at the numbers, if you match them up with last month, our call volume went way up this month. 3 calls at a time, several days, 4 calls at a time, one day. Kind of stretches our resources thin, but with our good partners that help us out, we make every call. So, but yeah, we were 111 calls this month. It's not really anything that caused it. I mean, it's just calls.
Okay. Anyone on committee have questions for chief? Anyone on council?
I would just say I got a call from a resident that was very appreciative of the fire department. Her grandmother had fell twice, and I think you guys had went over there 2 different times. So thank you guys
We've had a
for
lot of
taking
lift
care of them.
assist in the last,
Yeah.
in fact, the guys are on lift assist. They may be back now, but they're on lift assist now. So, yeah, we have a lot of those.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shannon, is there anything you want to highlight on the building or municipal court report?
Chair Barros, I'll just note that we have had a slowdown kind of month over month for the last 2 months, but I did talk with Renee, and we have several permits that are upcoming for residential, so we should see that pick up here
Okay.
almost immediately.
Great. Does anyone on committee have questions for Shannon about either of those reports? Anyone on council? Okay, Chief Ford, I guess, do you want to talk to us about the mutual aid agreement and assist with Clemson football?
Again, so we had some officers that in the past had, through other agencies, had worked some of the Clemson football games with Clemson University Police Department. So I reached out a couple of months ago, and they said they're always in need of officers to help work the football games. So some of the officers were interested, so I kind of put fillers out, and what we found out was that Clemson University will pay the city a certain amount per officer per hour for us to go work those games. Now, the officers that work those games will have to be off here. It will not interfere with their duties here. This will be on days that they are off to make extra money. The way the agreement is that we can send 4, 5, 6, whatever we can afford to send. They are willing to take whatever we have for them. And I explained to them that the city comes first, obviously. They have mutual aid agreements with many other cities and counties that do this every year. So this is nothing new to them. They just welcome the assistance. So it gives our officers a little extra chance to make a little extra money working at the ball games, working at the gates mostly, not in traffic and direct traffic, but at the gates. If something were to happen and we had to arrest someone, they provide a Clemson University officer immediately. They take the case. We never even have to go to court or anything. So it frees us up from all that. We just give a statement of what happened and we're free to go. So it seems like a win for the officers to make some extra side money. The money will filter through the city and taxes will be taken out, from my understanding, and Shannon can elaborate on that if you need to.
Chief, I'll just add, the money would go into the police salary account line, and then we will pay taxes, payroll taxes, but we will not deduct retirement time out of it.
And it goes directly to the person who worked those hours.
Correct. If I'm not mistaken, it'd be a separate check that's cut. Okay. Okay, yeah, those would be cut for usually it's 6 to 8 hours per Saturday from what I remember when I worked them several years ago. So.
So there's agreements with Pickens County and also with Clemson University. Can you talk to us about that arrangement?
So the Pickens County actually is something separate.
Okay. Perfect.
That is simply a agreement that the new sheriff has sent over, or I don't know how new he is, but he sent over to add another agreement, mutual aid agreement. And that's just a standard generalized mutual aid agreement that we do amongst agencies to help each other in circumstances where natural disasters or some big event occurs.
So do we need to make two separate motions to send two agreements to council?
I think we do.
Okay, great. Does anyone on committee have questions about the mutual aid
Go
agreement?
ahead to the Clemson thing a second, Benji. The officers that choose to work the games, will they be compensated at the rate that is paid to the city, or will they get a portion of that?
So it's $50 per officer per hour that comes to the city, and then taxes, payroll taxes are taken out, and the officer receives the rest of that.
That's what I'm asking, and that will be taken out at a $50 per hour rate.
Yes, there's no lost money. The city is not contributing any money, and they're not losing any money from it. So it's a break even for the city. Yes. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay.
That'd be a good opportunity for them.
Yes, yes. Some of them are looking forward to it. The younger guys, they like to go over there and watch a little ball game and work, so.
They can ride with Chris.
They can. I've already heard from Chris, by the way.
Chief Ford, is this specifically just for the football season, or could this open up to other sporting events or special events?
It's specifically for the football season.
Football season? Okay.
Yes. Now, the agreement covers other events, but they don't need as many officers. Those
Right.
other events don't. If they called us and asked us, then this would also cover us, so we wouldn't have to come back again. But,
Okay.
95% of this is just the football season.
This, in effect, allows them to ask for additional help if they would need it. We're just saying that we will be there in case they want, outside of the football games also, that they can ask if they need.
Absolutely, yeah, if they needed, and that's the Pickens County one also. They're asking, that's just as generalized, but Clemson, yes. They would use us at the football games. If anything happened, we would help them. And then if there was something in addition to that, we could also help them, depending on obviously whatever happened, so.
Do we have other mutual aid agreements with other agencies?
We do, have them with Greenville County, all the municipalities, Spartanburg County, just the surrounding area in case that we were to, follow vehicles in their jurisdiction, if we want to work assignments with them. Some of the smaller municipalities, smaller than us, will even ask us to enter an agreement in case we could do some special assignments with them if they need extra bodies. So.
Thank you.
Does anyone else on council have questions about the Pickens or Clemson agreements?
I do. I'm kind of like with Wayne's questioning. So this doesn't affect like overtime with other hours then at all?
No.
And workers' comp, any of that kind of, will it affect workers' comp, what we pay for that? And
Workers' comp's taken out, correct? Workers'
Okay.
comp's taken out, so
Okay.
The only other way to do it, in the past, Clemson used to pay cash to the officers, but then there were like subcontractors. There was no workers' comp or anything.
Right.
So they found the best way to do it would be administrative or accounting-wise is to go through the city and pay it that way. So,
And it won't affect overtime for work here and all that?
no. And if we needed them to work here, they would have to forfeit the game to work here first. This is the #1 priority.
Okay.
Strictly set up as a pass-through account with taxes removed, correct?
Workers' comp, no.
Correct.
Okay.
The payroll, all the payroll deductions, except retirement, so that the officers get the full benefit of the extra hours.
I think it's a great opportunity for the officers.
And we work Furman games too, and obviously Furman they staff those. A couple officers work Furman games, and we anticipate sending 4 to 6 officers each Saturday is what we anticipate.
Okay, does it matter which one I do first?
It doesn't matter the order.
Okay. I make a motion to send the Pickens County Mutual Aid Agreement to full council. Does that work? Okay, all in favor? Great. Okay, thank you. And then I'll make a motion to send the contract for law enforcement services at Clemson University Special Events to full council.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, thank you. And next, we'll discuss the dog foster policy. Chief, I don't know if you need to stay up here for that. Just get your steps, it's fine.
Oh, that's good today. I'm good today.
Care Bears, I think that's mostly me.
Okay.
So I'll take it and Chief can jump in with some of the
What do you-
technicalities as needed. But
Sure.
basically, we identified that there are times where we take possession of animals, where it could be in the animal's interest as well as the city's interest to have a little bit more of a residential scenario in fostering. We worked with Robbie Childs and to put together sort of a comprehensive program here with an application. So it's, we're thorough as to does this individual who would be interested in being a foster parent have the abilities to do it? Do they understand, all of the liabilities and opportunities that come to bear here? The volunteer does not take ownership of the animal. The police department or myself could rescind the foster parent, authorization at any time for any reason. They do have to be approved by the police department. The foster parent does take on day-to-day expenses such as food and toys. The city retains expenses for veterinary bills with pre-authorization, or in the exception of the emergencies, we do want the animal cared for immediately, so we have exempted that out with an immediate call as soon as possible. The animal control officer has visitation rights with a 12-hour notice on, for typical reasons. If there was, for any reason, reasonable belief that the dog was being mistreated or unwell in any way, there's no forewarning. The animal control officer can just knock on the door. There is an application for pre-approval as well as home checklists, kind of a thorough program put into place. And then there is an agreement between the city and the foster parent to reduce liability to the extent possible. There is no such thing as a full reduction of liability. It is an animal. If it does bite, we are in the chain of custody. Some of the requirements are such that it's not to go out in a social scenario, like you don't go eat at a restaurant with a foster animal. It remains in the home. It remains, either on leash or in a appropriately fenced-in yard. So the safeguards are built as much as possible, but while we do have a humane, kennel, this is, for the socialization and the day-to-day interaction for the animal. Best for the animal, best for staff, reduces our staff time here in-house, and we think a pretty opportune new program to put in front of council.
Can you tell us the likelihood that a dog is going to need fostering or an animal?
Well, I can tell you we did have an animal here for almost a full year's time, which really brought it to light that there was a better way to do it. While the animal is well cared for, walked for multiple times a day, it's just different than being in a home and cared for. I don't think this happens on a regular basis. It may not happen more than once a year, maybe less than once a year, but we didn't have a program in place. That animal has now gone back to its owner. Everyone's happy in that situation, but we were at the point of like realizing that animal really deserved to have a better scenario if possible.
What's the process like with the owner?
So these are, and Chief, you could speak to this too. I'll let you talk
So
about this.
it depends a little bit what the scenario is. So if we don't know who the owner is, obviously, you know, if the owner were to come here to pick up the animal, then we would get it back from foster care and deliver it back to the owner. If we do know who the owner is, it depends on their circumstances. Are they incarcerated, or are they incapable of caring for the animal at that time and need time? So it would depend on the range of circumstances. But the owner would retain all rights. It would just be a temporary foster.
I assume this is something other municipalities do?
Not very many.
Okay.
There are some, but
We worked with Greenville County Animal Care. So a lot of municipalities, do hand over animals to the animal care, but there are certain circumstances, like when we have it for evidence that it does not go to animal care and we retain possession here at City Hall. So we worked with Greenville County Animal Care to put this together. So I didn't research whether the other municipalities have a similar program, but we did work with Animal Care to map out and to copy their programming elements, to work with Robbie on the liability components of it.
it's progressive, but it's not brand new.
I was just figuring, most people would probably just send the pet to animal care, or that there would be an agreement there, but, okay.
We get charged when we take animals to animal care, so they charge us for that. So it would benefit us to put in foster care, someone that loves and takes care of the animal, and then we find out who the owner is and then return it, and then it's saving the city cost of food and whatnot, and then the humane care, the better care for someone that's actually playing with the animal on a more regular basis than just once a day, so.
Great. Does anyone on the committee have questions about the dog foster policy?
Just a couple of details. So I'm assuming we'll put this as an all-call, like website, app kind of thing. Is there a timeline, meaning we have an animal, and then is it like 10 days, and then we do foster care? Or is it going to be us trying to immediately put the dog in foster care?
I think, again, that's going to depend on the circumstances of why we have the animal.
Okay, to be determined.
To be determined. It would not be immediate. We're still going to follow through with posting animals on Facebook and say, does
Yeah,
anybody
that's
know,
posting.
that type thing. But we don't want to hold them over a long period of time.
I didn't know if we had like a timeline yet.
Councilmember Mayor, it's a great question and something we want to bring back to you in a very short order here. In going through this, we've identified opportunities to improve our animal ordinance. For instance, I believe we have currently a 3-day hold, but I believe state law has moved to a 10-day hold, so we need to fix some things such as that. So if we were going to have an animal for 10 days and someone was interested in taking it for a week, that would be better. That would be a better scenario. But, kind of one by one. And we would not foster out an animal we consider to be a danger, and
Correct,
it says
yeah.
that in the paperwork as well.
Yeah, I'm assuming that one for sure. When we start this process, are we going to have like a limit or just open? Meaning like how many, I guess we'll have to wait and see like how the program is and need, but are we going to say we need 10 good spots right now? You know what I'm saying? Or is it just going to be open?
It's probably an open call because we don't receive animals for long-term care very often.
No.
So we just had an extreme case of that brought it to mind to say, hey, we need to put something in place so that if we were to have another case like this, we can be much more efficient and move quickly. In terms of how long someone could keep an animal, I think we would work with them based on the scenario under which we had the animal. So if an owner was incarcerated and not able to come home to the animal for a period of time, we would be upfront
We kind of know.
with the timing of that this could be an extended stay. Would they be interested? The foster parent can bring the dog back at any point, and we can recall the dog back at any point. So there is flexibility in terms of if we needed to make a change, both sides have the opportunity to back out of it.
And just this other thing. So the basic purpose, though, for us to do this is so that we don't take animals to Greenville Humane Society and bulk up their care for the dogs. Is that right?
I think the main purpose is to free up from us spending a lot of money on caring for the animal and from us not having the time to spend a lot of time with that animal.
Right.
More of a humane situation for the animal. And then again, also for not having to take them there, if we can foster them out for a period of time.
Help with the overcrowding in Greenville.
We had that one dog for over a year because that person was incarcerated out of state. And we were just kind of like, we just took care, and and we took care of it very well, and the dog was wonderful, you know, but it just kind of said, it just came to light. So we said, well, what can we do to make this better? So we believe, I believe that once or twice a year this may happen, is what I believe right now. If it was more than 5 times, I'd be surprised, but, you know, it could be, so.
Does anyone on council have questions?
I have a question. So just to confirm with liability, how do we make sure that if something happens with a dog, that we're protected?
Well, we do have all the language that's available to put into the agreement, we have into the agreement, and we have into the rules and the policy. So the foster parent does acknowledge that they've received the rules, they do acknowledge that they've received the agreement, but just like our officers could be bitten, you never remove a full liability with an animal. So it
So
is,
if
it is a
somebody
risk.
is bitten, what will happen?
It would
as
go
far as-
against our general liability policy as
Okay.
the city.
And we will be vetting these people, these foster parents also. You know, we'll vet them and their residence and make sure everything's there that's needed for, you know, make sure that this home is good and can take care of these animals. So we'll do everything that we can to make sure it's the best setup for them.
And it's a great question, Councilmember Chris. We spent a fair amount of time talking with Animal Care about this. You never fully mitigate that risk. But we believe, as a staff, the recommendation we make to you is that it's better for the city and the animal on the whole if we can, you know, use sound judgment in the temperament of an animal and the condition to which they're going and the person who's receiving them's temperament, that this is an overall better scenario.
So just to clarify, so an animal will go to Greenville County Animal Care like after like a 10-day hold if we don't know who the owner is. Otherwise, so that would be it for that 10 days, and then it would go to Greenville County Animal Care. If we know who the owner is and there's a special circumstance, then it could be extended. Is that correct? So it'd be mostly like 10 days unless we know otherwise, correct?
That would be the typical scenario
Okay.
that we can envision.
And then are the fosters, will they be city residents, or is, it may be in the, sorry, I didn't read it super carefully, but is there like a mileage limit of where the foster can live
You know,
compared to
we
city
did
of
not
Chandler?
include that. It's something that we could include.
Especially if we're gonna be looking after the dog,
Yeah, I mean, I think it certainly would make sense to say, to stay in state.
or like a 30-mile
Maybe within the
radius,
county, you know,
yeah.
or a certain radius, that might make sense. I don't know that we want to keep it to where it has to be a city resident, because
No, right, yeah.
obviously, it's a pretty small city, we could get around it. But I think anyone who was close by and willing to step up would be a good partner for it.
And correct me if I'm wrong, this will probably more than likely be an employee of the city that'd be like, yes, I will take this cat home.
Well, that is where
Carson.
the, Carson did not take the cat home.
She thought about it. She thought about it. So I would say, like, we're not giving these dogs to strangers. My guess is it's going to be an employee here that falls in love with.
It could be, what brought this particular thing up was we did have an employee who offered to take care of the dog that
Or
was in
city
residence
council
here for a
member.
long
Or
time.
us.
And it was not Carson, but there was an employee who offered, and we were like, you know, we don't have a way to do that for, you know, so that certainly city employees would be top of the list if we could get them in the program. But you could have a great resident to step up, or close by citizen.
And then will they be vetted, like make sure, like we call their vet to make sure and all that kind of stuff, correct?
Yes, ma'am, there's an entire pre-application checklist. And then
And we'll call
Sergeant
their
Lewis
vet
makes a
to-
home visit and follows up on everything to make sure that they do what they say they do.
Perfect.
So is this a good time also, as we talked about, so the animal ordinance to update the wording? Are we going to kind of do this at parallel so it's,
Well, the
date.
timing was such, we wanted to kind of this program was ready to go regardless of the ordinance updates, but as we got into it, we realized there's an opportunity for ordinance updates. So I think you'll see that come in the next month or two, as we have time to work with Robbie Childs to make sure that we're meeting all the state legislation and being careful how we do that. But we do know that there's opportunities to improve it, and have studied a fair bit of other places that we want to replicate some of their
Right.
ideas.
nothing else, I'll make a motion to send the dog foster policy to council. It needs to go to council, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
So I'll make that motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? All right, thank you. Okay, next up, social media policy, or social media campaign presentation by Officer Blake.
Chair Byers, if you don't mind, I'll just make an introduction here. At the beginning of summer, come on up. At the beginning of summer, Officer Blake approached me with a Furman volunteer to come and help us with our social media as an intern. And I said, this is fantastic. It's something that we were kind of working on in-house on the office side of things, City Hall office with Beth. And I said, you know, we have, with the Shy Institute, we do a planning intern that we pay. So we offered to pay Evan to come in and follow that same internship formatting. It's been just an amazing opportunity. I'm so impressed with what Officer Blake and Evan have put together. Really a comprehensive reach out to the community to share with them in a very digestible, modern template, you know, public information, arrests, public safety, you know, ideas, how to keep your car safe. And so as we were kind of meeting as a wrap up and a thought process of how do we continue this and how do we mirror it on the city office side as well as, you know, back and forth between police, I was asking some questions about analytics and tell me what you really noticed as you began engaging with this platform, and was really impressed with this very thoughtful and wonderfully put together campaign. So I did ask them if they would come up and give us a presentation. Neither one of them loved the presentation format, so but you're going to be really impressed with the work that they did, and I think the community needs to see it and hear a little bit about it.
I did want to add one thing, council members, if I could. Since Evan has come on with us in the 2 months that he's been with us, our posts and views have gone up 25% on Facebook. That means there's 500 more viewers that has been paying attention to our posts and our videos that we've been placing online. Also, just to show you some of his handiwork, the chief wanted to put together a brochure for the department. Pass that around and just
I've been noticing that y'all have a lot of followers on your account. I was like impressed.
Yeah, so Travels Rest we do get a lot of traction with Facebook, not so much with Instagram because of the younger crowd. Our posts do cater to more of the older crowds here in Travels
You're
Rest.
supposed to say
but-
mature, Blake. You're supposed to say mature.
Mature. Thank you. Mature. Correction, noted. But we have been paying attention to that, and we have been getting a lot of traction with that. And so we want to be able to continue that with the working relationship of Furman at some point, as much as we can. So we'd like, you know, to your aid in that to further that, foster that relationship. So with that, we also been highlighting some of the new businesses here in the area to kind of, you know, bring notice or popularity to some of the new businesses. We did a interview with, what was it, Taco Farmer? Tipsy Taco. Also the Nest. I don't know if you guys have been able to see those videos, but again, just some of the things that we've been doing here to try and highlight and bring some notoriety to Travels Rest. And so this is a video, I'll give you an introduction. This is just one of the videos or interviews that we did to bring awareness to our opioid use that's been going on in our area in Travels Rest. We do know that opioids have been on the rise, not just in our area, but across the nation. And so we've really been focusing here at our police department to try and curb that opioid use here in Travels Rest. So this is an interview with a family that they lost their son. I think it was in 2015, I think it was later. Might have been 2020, where they lost their son to opioid use. And so these are just one of the videos that, like I said, are interviews that we did. We're also working with NAMI and some of the other foundations in our area to bring awareness to our opioid.
I was a lieutenant in the sheriff's office, Pickens County Sheriff's Office in the jail, for 6 years. We had several addicts come through, and he heard me speaking with these guys and just talking and finding out their stories and stuff of how their life kind of changed as they went along and how they started. And we've had conversations about it. It was talked about constantly about drugs and the dangers. And we try to keep a very open communication with our kids. Like, hey, you know, if you're going to do something, or you know, if you're going to go to a party and they're drinking or something, like, just call us. Don't drive home. Don't try to do any of that. Like, we had a very open relationship on that kind of stuff with our kids. We never wanted to feel like they needed to hide something from us.
He was here at home sleeping because he had worked the night before, and he and his brother went to his dad's for Thanksgiving, and then they met us at my mom's. I went to bed and I knew like something wasn't right. There's so many police and fire, and I couldn't see Cole. And Kale explained that they had gone to buy some pills, and they knew that it had fentanyl in it, but they were told that it was a low dose, that it was safe, that they would be fine. And they both took it that night, and Kale was completely fine. And we lost Cole from it.
The truth about it is that these pills, you know, it's a 50-50 shot. And I think the statistics actually say that it's less than that. We were lucky that it was a 50-50 for us, because if not, we would have lost both of our sons that night. He said that Cole, that night, he just wanted to wind down for a few hours.
He just wanted to feel good.
Yeah, he was having some issues. He had just dropped his 9-month-old baby at home with Matthew's mother, and he had just started a new job with BMW. He was doing great. He was progressing with that. He had just bought him a brand new car. Like, the world was just felt like it was going up and up for him. Like, he had finally gone through a lot, and he had finally had turned the corner. He was 21. He was out on his own. He was just, you know, it just kind of seemed like things were just coming, just slowly, steadily up. But that night, he told his brother, he's like, I want to get away for a couple hours. Don't ever be the parent that says never my child, or not my child, because we were that family. Experimentation now is deadly. It's worse than Russian roulette. So that's when Parents Against Fentanyl came about, because the tragedy that we experience is something that never leaves, and we don't want other families and other parents and other siblings to go through this. Our biggest drive right now with that is just education, getting our story out there to parents, getting our story in front of children. You know, our youngest daughter, she's 14 now. She'll be starting 9th grade next year. Like, her age group is where all this stuff started. Like, this is where, you know, your vapes are coming into your schools in middle school and high school, and, you know, pills and all that stuff is happening around that age group. And that's when they're still malleable. Like, that's when we can get in there, we can talk, and we can, you know, just understand that, hey, a simple choice has a dire consequence. So that's why Parents Against Fentanyl exists, for the sisters and the brothers and the families, so that we can try to just understand that it comes back to the family and just education and just teaching our children, and even our teenagers and our young adults, that, hey, you know, it's not worth it. You can reach us through parentsagainstfentanyl.org. is our website, and we're constantly, it's just me and her doing stuff, so we're constantly trying to get more and more information on there. But there's a contact us link, and I think our phone number's on there, and we're, if someone wants to talk and just say, hey, I just need to have a conversation, like I've gone through this, or I almost went through this, we're here. If they just need a ear, I would love to listen to people, because we went through it. Sometimes even your own family doesn't understand the pain.
You feel alone. You feel alone in having other people who have been through it with you or have been through the same thing. It's easier to talk to because they understand. Losing a child is horrific. Having people who kind of understand what you're going through, it helps to know that you're not alone, because it's very isolating.
It's not that I want to be an addict or I want to end my life. It could be the simple fact, like Cole, I just need to get my brain to stop for a few minutes.
And I do wanted to add also, this year we are starting at Travelers Rest High with our RISE prevention program inside of the high school. And it centers around opioid use, fentanyl use, vapes, and the awareness of it. So that's going to be Travelers Rest High this year. We're working with RISE prevention and their administration.
Is that Martine?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Did y'all make this video?
Evan did. He's the hands behind what you saw.
Great.
We just interviewed them, asked them some basic, some questions as to what happened, and the rest is.
What's your major and year?
Communications, and I'm rising senior.
Awesome. Thank you. That's amazing. Powerful.
Councilmember Chris, to brag on Evan, that's his second video. The first one that he put up is, I would argue, even more powerful.
I think I saw that one.
Done such an amazing job. National platforms don't do as well as this. And these are Travelers Rest families. The first one he put up, they're interviewing in our small conference room. And you can see our
Wow.
furniture in that. So it's very local to home. We're really hoping we can use the community officer. Officer Blake, is working hard to be out there and bring on a different component of policing where we really do reach out. But in addition to these very powerful and sad and very moving in a tough way, they've done a great job with the fun,
Yes,
and
they
with
have.
and with the just public safety announcements and recruiting, trying to bring into the police force. So it's a very comprehensive platform that they've put together, and Evan's done a lot in a very short period of time. I'm very proud of this internship.
It's one of my favorite accounts, so I really enjoy it. And you have 11,000 followers. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Oh, and there was a lot of comment about that first fentanyl video. Like, just looking at all the comments that people were talking about, very powerful. And this is something we need to talk about. So I think it's really good the word is getting out there.
I'll add too, I think you two are a nice duo together. So I appreciate you upping our game, Evan. We really do value your time here.
Is there grants out there to help fund, for us to?
Councilmember Lane, yes. In fact, there is an opioid grant that's out there and available to the communities. And Chief Ford and I have talked multiple times, how do we use this? How do we make access to it? And really, until Evan came to us and started working in this format, instantly we went, that's what we can do. So we've missed this year's application for that, but talked with Officer Blake about getting in on that grant, and Martine helps with that as well.
Okay.
So working through the high schools. I think we can do something that's really impactful. No other municipality is jumping in at this level. And it's something that we can do as, because we are a small community and we have our own high school in town. It's a different opportunity there for sure.
And this can reach so many other communities and not just our community. Like, those stories can reach across, yeah. Yeah. Right,
Oh, they've shared it.
right. That's a great opportunity. Thank you.
And I think that's something we can share at the MAS conference. We have the Madam President
Yeah.
of the MAS conference and all the conferences that the police departments have. Something that really should be replicated and disseminated. So.
Great.
Oh, you
Thank
got it.
you. All right, I'll motion to adjourn public safety meeting. Great, all in favor?
Planning and Development Committee, Co-Chair Byers, back to you.
Okay, I call to order the Planning and Development Committee meeting for August 11th. Present are myself, Grant Baumgartner, Sherry Mara, and Shanice Chris. Do we have a motion to approve the July 10th Planning and Development minutes?
Motion.
Second.
Thank you. Hi, Jay.
Get double duty tonight, huh?
Yeah.
So on my report, I've moved a few things around on my report, just trying to clean it up and everything else. The only things that are in entitlement process are the two rezones you'll see on August 21st for second reading. The preliminary subdivision approval, that Parkside Village, which has been there for eternity, I believe, I am following up on, but I believe we'll be removing from there unless Greenville County at some point has received a letter asking for it to be extended. This is probably a null and void agreement at this point in time. That usually have a 2-year time period for subdivision. After that 2-year time period, you can apply for 5 1-year, what's the word I'm looking for? Extension is exactly it. And I don't know, they would need 2 of those extensions right now, and I don't know if that's been filed at all. So I'm gonna follow up, and if it has not been extended, then it is null and void. Under approved projects in permitting, White Hawk Meadows Phase 2 is moved down there. They have a permitted preliminary plat, and so they'll be into engineering right now. And then everything else has moved down to projects under construction. The one thing that, item 5 down at the bottom, we are looking at the update of the Travelers Rest zoning ordinance. So I've been here almost 14 months. And so I've spent some time with it and everything, and we're looking at making some revisions to it that I think will update and make it better and more readable. Some of it's a lot of formatting and everything, and so in the next few months, we'll see that coming before Planning Commission and Council. And then the one that's not listed that I'm adding there is in the next few weeks, we should be seeing Parks Master Plan RFQ go out. We're going to use the RFQ so that we can do the qualifications, then negotiate a contract so we can pick them off of who we think is most qualified to do that effort for us.
Great, thank you.
Just to clarify, Jay, the property that you're referring to about the extensions, that's the acreage between Center Street and Poinsett Extension?
That's exactly it.
Okay,
yes.
just so everyone kind of knows where it is.
Like, it's not listed for sale or anything, is it?
It's
There's a
confusing
sign
'cause
that's
there's a
just been up
sign.
there forever. It's
Right.
just like been there for a long time, ever
Mhm.
since I can remember.
So if this project falls through and let's say the owner comes up with a different idea or the land is listed for sale, what's that process like?
Once all of its entitlements are gone.
Okay.
And so it has to go through the whole process again. It retains its zoning, but everything else would have to come before, depending on what they did with the property. If they wanted to do a new subdivision, it'd have to go through the whole subdivision process again.
Okay. Does anyone else on the committee have questions for Jay? Anyone on council? Okay,
Thanks.
motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you. Ways and Means Committee, Grant Baumgartner.
All right, call Ways and Means Committee to order. Myself, Kelly Byers, Lisa Lane, and Wayne McCall. are all present, I would entertain a motion to approve the July 10 Ways and Means Committee minutes.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. And that being done, moving on to item C, Trailside Trolley Public-Private Partnership Update. That's a mouthful to try to say. As we all know, the Trailside Trolley has been running, and it's my understanding that we have an opportunity to partner with them, which is a great benefit to both ourselves and that company that is doing that also. I will let our city administrator tell us more about that.
Thank you, Chair Baumgartner. This was a really great new venture that Chelsea McBride, owner of The Nest and Birdie Boutique, brought to us. It started as a private concept. She's gotten great support from the business community and sponsorships, which allows for ridership to be free. She kind of ran it for a short period of time and piloted it, learned a little bit from it, and then had to kind of reorganize. And as she was reorganizing, came to me and said, I think we've done enough to exhibit that this connects city events and opportunities to each other in terms of commerce and what's going on here. It really answers one of the significant questions that was asked of me of the business community when I got here, which was connect your events that are so successful at Trailblazer Park back to the to the downtown. And so we've seen people really enjoy it. Couple advantages that we see to creating this public-private partnership. It is an agreement in which, and I'll get paperwork in front of you as it comes through, but I wanted to talk about it ahead of time. But it is an agreement in which the city would purchase the trolley and own it, and be the primary owner for it, and then we would contract for the services. So it does give the city some oversight on how day-to-day operations go. We do find that the users do reach out to us with the positives and the negatives. Everybody seems to think it's a city service, so for better or for worse, it's ours anyway. So we think that's a great opportunity because we have a lot of transit opportunities or transit operations here in the city. We can insure it at a much better cost than Chelsea can on the private side, and have her listed as an additional insured with general liability. We've run that through our insurance council and gotten good bids on that. So it's just an opportunity to kind of bring even a higher level of credibility and commitment to the community, connect these services, allow her service to run at a cost that's a good operations cost for her to sustain and to kind of sustain it throughout. We would purchase the trolley from her at a value of a purchase price of $1, but should the arrangement cease, she would have the first right of refusal to purchase it back for $1. Outside of that, we envision that the partnership would run along the lines of she is responsible for day-to-day operations, the maintenance, and all costs associated with the operations outside of the city owning and insuring the vehicle. The city would be named as additional insured, so if there was to be an incident, it would go against the contractor's insurance first and then ours second, which is a typical arrangement in a partnership, public-private partnership agreement. We continue to be a free service to the citizens through the sponsorships that are sold, and we are one of those sponsors. That's the conceptual that's in front of us now. So we're working with Robbie to put together the bones of that and how that presents in an agreement. And then look forward to bringing that to you. But I know there had been discussion of this. There's been discussion of this on the street, and so this is kind of what we're looking to do to bring it back. And would be happy to entertain any questions or thoughts as we get into the structure of putting that agreement together.
So the insurance from the city covers the vehicle. What about the drivers?
So that would fall to the contractor and their general liability. Of course, we know with anything that we get involved in, we will be in a chain of custody somewhere along there, and we have general liability insurance for that as well.
Ultimately, this also, entering into this agreement, gives us as a city greater control of the operation of the business itself also, correct?
Yes, Chair Bumgarner, this does give us a prime seat at the table, so to speak. Chelsea's obviously been great to reach out to us and seek our advice and counsel, but as a private business, it operates as a private business. Once it's in a public partnership with us, we have those contractual agreements with it.
This isn't an unusual agreement that cities enter into with other businesses, is it?
No, sir, great point. And in fact, well, and it's not even an unusual business that cities are in, this microtransit business. So we see it downtown. They've got the trolley system. In Greer, they have actually a golf cart microtransit system as well. And so there's various ways that you can operate it with a contractor or in-house. We don't have the staff to operate this in-house. Quite honestly, we don't have the staff to manage this in-house. So I think this is probably the next best solution is to take the person who conceived the idea and contract with them for the day-to-day management, have a seat at the table, have stake at the table, and then be able to, to operate this service for longevity for the citizens and resident and visitors.
So is insurance expensive? Is that why the partnership was?
It becomes very expensive when you do it just as a private venture, a sole private venture. Very cost prohibitive to do that. For us, it's about $600 a year. When you get into the private, you're in the $30,000 to $50,000 range a year.
Just because it's a different organization?
Microtransit, yes.
So it will only increase our budget by 600?
Correct. And that is the only cost that we have agreed to assume. All other costs, including any replacement costs, should it be damaged during operations and the insurance, our insurance coverage, not cover the full replacement value, the gap would go to the contractor.
Could we use funds from out, is it ATAX or wherever we get the
Local
money?
ATAX, yes.
Yes, could we use the ATAX to fund the insurance?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I know we normally do grants. Do we have to apply for the grant?
I'm
or
not
is that
sure.
gonna be a line item that
It's a
we will
great question.
automatically-
Councilmember Chris, I'm not sure it's worth running it through because $600 on our insurance really doesn't move our needle very much for all the police vehicles that we insure and everything else. We probably don't notice it, but we could run that against ATAX. To me, I would just put it in our business general fund operations.
Okay.
Are we paying for the drivers and stuff too then?
We are not.
So
The contractor procures, trains, vets, and holds all the driver responsibilities.
And that's all from sponsorships that they're getting funding for that?
That is
from
correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
That is
we have some oversight into all that also, that we can still have some control through that process.
Correct, because if we don't like the day-to-day operations, we can end the arrangement.
Free of the trolley.
Yes. Well, if we end it, they would have the first right of
Then we-
refusal
they
to
could-
purchase
right,
it back,
exactly.
yes.
But
Because
now-
they did make a private investment on the front end. We want to be sensitive to that. And it's a very nice trolley. So if we were to end it early for any reason, we would want Trailside Trolley as a contractor to be able to regain their equipment.
Is it one or two trolleys?
It is one. So
Okay.
there's the potential to grow, for sure, but right now it's the one 14-passenger trolley. I think originally it was conceived to have a couple small golf carts with a couple seats on them.
Right.
And then after a visit to Furman and seeing the beautiful trolleys that they have there, the large golf carts, they went more with that system.
Well, it sounds like too, the marketing for us to be a part of that would be helpful for their end and ours. And I'm curious I wonder if we can blend our app somehow to identify where people are, to notify. I know at one time Chelsea was talking about a concept. So if you're waiting at one end of Main Street, there's no one in between, then they know, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can coordinate marketing and.
Absolutely a shared use to market the utilization of it. I think on the app, I would push that. My preference would be to push that to the contractor to develop and to
Like
manage that.
stops and stuff like
Just
that?
because
Okay.
Beth's so tied up with our PR, I think that would be another big thing to ask. But it's a great opportunity, and we could participate in investments there if we felt like that was worth it.
Any other questions from anyone? It's my understanding that this, really what you're giving is just an update. We can expect the actual ordinance proposal to be brought to full council at our full council meeting next week, correct?
That is our goal, yes.
Okay. So where we are right now is just receiving this as information, and we will act on it as needed next week.
Chair Bumgarner, just to be clear, just council has to approve any partnership agreements we have. So, but it's just a one reading motion to approve those.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Anybody else have anything for the committee or any questions? Hearing none, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Old business, we have none. New business, we have none. Shannon, any additional administrative updates for us?
I think I'm good, Mayor.
Okay,
I'm done.
great. All right, does anyone on council have anything for the good of council? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for our visitors for coming and hanging out with us.